Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, continuing our series SNCF 30710. Today's topic actually is very interesting and very important for the firepower concept. Actually, it's in all firewalls, but like Cisco has some details for that. And actually, this is the core and the heart of the firepower. So we will talk about the pre-filter policy and access control policy. What are they and why are they important? And where we can use it and why we need to use it. A lot of questions need for an answer. So I prepared uh, these slides. Actually, I want you to understand some concept. This is the workflow from the FMC perspective for the traffic. So let's talk about like this is pre-filter policy. I will explain what's pre-filter policy in a while, and I'm sure like most of you know it. So if the pre-filter policy passed it, passed the traffic, then it will not need to go for security intelligence. This is the snort engine, by the way. It will not need to go for the snort engine. So it will go directly to outside for the egress. So why I need like pre-filter? I need pre-filter, for example, if I have two trusted lands that I have, I don't need any inspection to be there. So I have to apply it in the pre-filter policy. So it will not go for further inspection. But let's see that pre-filter did not like allow it, or it's allow it and check, okay, let's inspection. The first line for you is the security intelligence. This is actually connected, of course, as we said, with Cisco Talos, getting the feeds for like the IPs, and it will put like some IPs for the blacklist and whitelist. So anything in the blacklist, what it will be happen? It will drop. Great. If it's passed, then it will go to the next level, the access control policy. This is layer 3 and 4 access control policy. Our normal policy, ACP. If it's not allowing from the ACP, drop. If it's allowed, then go for another security intelligence. This is for DNS and URL. I told you like security intelligence had three types: by IP, by DNS, by URL. If it's drop, so if it's passed, it will go for the access control policy layer 7. Check the application here. If it's passed, it will go for file policy and IPS policy, and after that, it will go to the next hop lookup. Great. So pre-filter is here for something called fast path. Fast path, if I don't want it to be checked by snort engine. Why we would need that? Like, what is the reason for that? Actually, whatever you are sending to the snort engine, you are putting loads and headache on your firepower, right? Because it's doing like so many checks, and especially with the checks with the secured pages, like need for SSL decryption. So you are putting headache for that. So why should I do that? And I know that there are some traffics that I don't need to be checked. I know them. They are intake. Like this is from inside. Or another scenario could be like the voice. The telephone voice. Why should I use the voice traffic for inspection? It will make a problem in my infrastructure actually. So like this is a bad reason actually. The voice it will be in the faster path. No. Don't check it for me. Send it back away. Let's go. So actually, this is the fast path like rule match, or where the pre-filter is there and security inclusion. Now, let's go to our topic, pre-filter policy. What is pre-filter policy? When the traffic hits the Cisco firepower, the process, like in the Lena engine, as we said, and the Snort engine. Lena engine, anything like layer 3, like routing, NAT, the layer 3 and 4 access control list, this is all will be handled by Lena engine. No need for a Snort engine. A Snort engine will be needing in something like application control and visibility. Yeah, this is Snort. Security intelligence. Yeah, of course, this is Snort. Uh, IPS, file policy and malware. These are Snort engine that need for intelligence in checking. So yes, okay, we know that when traffic will be hit the firewall, it will go there and okay. Pre-filter policy, it is the first line of the defense of your traffic inside the Lena engine. Okay, it is made to take an initial action before processing the traffic to the Snort engine for further inspection. This is what I explained. The concept of the pre-filter came not only for security but also to minimize the load on the firepower by not processing the traffic to the Snort engine. Exactly. Pre-filter policy can have several rules. Yes, it's a policy actually, so you can create as much rule as you can. Cisco ASA with firepower does not support the pre-filter policy. Um, yeah, I guess yes. Yeah, the like ASA 5506X with firepower does not support this one. Right, great. Pre-filter policy actions. We have three actions for pre-filter. So block, uh, discard actually the traffic without further inspection. Okay, this is block. Fast path. This is what I told you. It will not send it for further inspection like the to the Snort. It's automatically going to the egress. Analyze, yeah, this is sends traffic to further Snort inspection based on configured ACP rules. This is very important actually. If I put the type is analyze, so I'm allowing the traffic to be sent to the Snort. But what if inside the access control policy, I didn't enable any security intelligence, I didn't enable any application control, I didn't enable any IPS. So it will not go for there. Great. Firepower includes a single default policy. Yes, the default policy in the firepower, like without creating anything, there is the pre-filter policy. There is a default there. So yes, it is allowing the traffic to go for inspection. So what is access control policy? Simply, access control policy is your firewall heart. This is everything actually. This is all the course about. The access control policy can be having set of rules that can do like several actions. Several actions like what? Allow block traffic, like send the traffic to the Snort for deeper inspection or don't send it. ACP considered the heart main of the core. Yes, this is what I said. And also it has a capability for logging either on event viewer, syslog, and SNTP, perhaps like what I showed you in the previous lecture. Great. Access control policy rules. Yes, inside the access control policy, and this actually we applied several times, but we are applying it like everything, all allow any. No, now from now on we have to take care about our infrastructure. So yes, a set of rules that can do like many actions. This is actually a repetition. I don't know why I wrote it twice. Allow block traffic, blah, blah, blah. Fine. The action of the access control policy rules. You have allow. Allow means if like matching the traffic, yes, okay, allow it. But if there is an inspection needed, further inspection needed, security intelligence, network discovery, IPS, yes, please go there and do it. Trust, no, just send it. You can consider it like as a fast path in the pre-filter policy. A block is a block. like blocking the traffic without any inspection, of course, because it's a blocked. So why do I need to inspect it? It's blocked already from the Lena engine. Block with reset, like the normal behavior of the block when it's blocking, it keep the session open. Don't care about the session. But there is an option why I should keep the session open, like a TCP session open. For example, um, if I go to like any, for example, website, trusted website, so there is, of course, a TCP way handshake. So there is a session is open. So if the firewall blocked me, so why the session this should be open? No, I have to terminate it. Where this is in the second one, block with reset. So this is where you are resetting the session. Interactive block with the reset. Actually, interactive block is working with something called HTTP response. I will show you and we'll apply it on our labs, coming lab, what I mean. Uh, it's interacting the user like an HTTP page will appear for him, and you can write like anything to him. Hey, be careful, you are blocked because this is, for example, banded website. So there is like a web page is going to your user, and it will tell him that, yeah, you are blocked because blah blah blah. Reset, of course, it will reset the session, the same concept of the block. Monitor, it does not take a decision to block or allow the traffic. Monitor only logging the traffic even if you did not enable the log from the access control rule. But this is up to your firepower. If the firepower from like somewhere it's allowed this traffic, then the traffic will be allowed and logging that it's allowed. If it's blocked somewhere, so it's blocked. So it's like think about it. Maybe there is, let's say, okay, the security intelligence it blocked it for a reason because he found this IP address in the blacklist. So it's blocked, but it's monitored. For example, security intelligence found that this IP address is in the whitelist, so pass it. But the monitor action is not interfering in allowing or denying the traffic. It's only for logging, even if your log is not enabled from the firewall access policy rule logging tab. Great. I prepared for you this diagram. Let's talk about it. This is very important, actually, and I want you to understand it to continue with each other safely in this course. There are some rules is applying to the ACP only, the access control policy only. Like what? Like security intelligence. When you want to apply it, you are not applying it to the rule. No, it's applying to the access control policy. What else? HTTP response that we talk about it, like it's warn the user that if he is blocked. So it's applying to the ACP. A pre-filter policy. When we create the pre-filter policy, we have to apply it to access control policy to be working, because access control policy need minimum one pre-filter policy to work. So it will be applied here, but pre-filter policy is not applying to the rule. The same of identity policy. The identity policy for users to grab user from third party. So yeah, this will be applying in the ACP. ACP, like, yeah, oh, it will be having all the users, and after that you can do some action in the rule, but it's applying in the access control policy. SSL policy, the same for SSL decryption and decryption, and also for something called file policy. No, the file policy inside the rule, but SSL, this is SSL decryption, yeah. So, and also the rule, it will be not applied actually in the access control policy. The access control policy has several rules, like has several rules from this, either one or more. So what I can apply in the rule? In the rule, I can apply zones. Great. In the rule, with the rule, okay, I can apply networks, VLAN tag, users. Like this rule should be applied on specific user or one user. Application control and visibility on the rule itself. Ports, if I want to block a port, if I want to allow a port, here in the rule. You are filtering. If I want to filter some URL in the rule. SGT, security group tagging. And this is actually mainly like to let it work perfectly. This will work with Cisco eyes. But if you don't have Cisco eyes, you can create manually the tagging. And your tag will be here. Then after that, you can apply it for some networks. I don't know if you know the security group tagging concept, that if you have, for example, VLAN 10 and you have 10.1.2.3.4, and I want these two to not talk to these two, like segregate them too, but they are in the same VLAN. Normally, yes, they can communicate to each other because they are in VLAN 10 and no need any gateway for interconnection between them. So what if I want just VLAN like 10.1 and 10.2? Yes, they can talk to each other, but not to communicate with the 3 and 4. And I don't want to make access control policy for that, or layer 2 access policy. Then there is security group tagging. You can give tagging, like for example, these two. I can give them like tag 1. This is, for example, tag 2, like this one, this. So whatever in the same tag, they can communicate to each other, even though if they are in the same VLAN. Later on, I will explain it in detail, but this is like something came in my mind. Inspections. If you want to make inspection like IPS inspection and file policy inspection in the rule also, if you want to enable the logging, you enable the logging per rule. This is what I want you to understand. Like there are some policies and features will be applied only with the access control. Where's my mouse? Okay, and the access control policy itself, the policy itself, and the policy contains down one rule or more, several rules, and this is what you can apply per rule. So let's get to our software, our topology, sorry, and let's see them like where the pre-filter in the policies. You see all these are policies like access control policy. This is our lovely access control policy. You have intrusion policy, you have malware and file, the RDNS policy, identity policy, SSL policy, and pre-filter policy. Let's enter the pre-filter policy. Okay. By default, this policy is there. I didn't create it, you didn't create it, the system was generated by default. So this default policy for a pre-filter, you cannot modify, you cannot add any rule inside it. Like if I want to edit inside it, see what's telling you here. You cannot add rule to the default pre-filter policy. You can change only default action options. Where the default action options is here. Analyze and block. These all only two you can do it. But what is this action? Actually, let's see. When I was explaining in the slide, I told you the default will be allowed. Okay, so here non-tunneled, because the pre-filter policy like can be applied into non-tunneled, the normal, and tunneled one. Tunneled one, actually I will explain it later. So non-tunneled traffic is allowed. For the tunneled traffic, it's analyzed, so it needs to be analyzed, or block you have. This is only. So where is the fast path that I told you about? The fast path is not here. The fast path, you have to create a new pre-filter policy, new policy. For example, let's say, let's name it HQ fast path pre-filter policy. Actually, it's not good to name it as a fast path, but it's fine. It's a name at the end. You can name it whatever you want. So now it's open for me, and now this time I have add tunnel rule, add the pre-filter rule. Actually, our topic now is a pre-filter rule. So let me add a pre-filter rule. Here you will be having this. You can name your rule. For example, from inside to DMZ. I want from inside LAN to DMZ to be fast path, not analyzed. So here the analyzed block, and this is the fast path. Great. So inside, you can put it here. Outside, no, DMZ, add destination, and you can add networks. Of course, you can specifically like make it any, or you can make it for like special network object. Next video I will start with the objects. That's why leave it in the any right now. If you want to tag the LAN, great. Okay, time, there's no time, enable, everything is fine. So add. Now I have this rule inside it. So let's press save. Cancel. Okay. So I have this my pre-filter rule. If I go to my access control policy, here the default policy that we created, update. Hurry up. Look at this. No, update. I have to generate report. Okay. Update. So here actually, this is the policy, like the default policy that I start working and I add the rules here. Well, inside the access control policy, what you have rules, you have security intelligence, HTTP responses, and of course logging. You can make a log for the default policy. You have a pre-filter policy. It's in the default. You find it. If you want to change it, so you can change it with the one that you create. So I will leave it for the time being the default. So SSL policy, as I told you here, identity policy. So this will be applied on the access control policy. This is as per the diagram that I made it for you. Identity policy, HTTP response, pre-filter, security intelligence, SSL policy, and it has logging also here. I forget it. And inside the rule, what we'll be having inside the rule, here is the rule. Let's make like, for example, add rule. Okay, so this is the role that I have. So I can name it, of course. I can apply zones on it. Fine. I can apply networks. Inside networks, I can apply the network and geolocation. We will come to it in the objects. VLAN tagging. Yes, I can put VLAN tagging users. Applications. I can filter by applications. Ports. Here I can deny or accept by ports. URL filtering. SGT, security group tagging. Inspection, this is the inspection. What inside you will find intrusion policy, the IPS. Here, if you can see, like maximum detection, connectivity over security, balance security and connectivity. This is I will explain in the IPS section. So file policy. Here, if you want to make like file policy, very quickly, because file policy, it will be a dedicated video. So file policy, for example, if I want to block the file like the zip folder to be downloaded or to be like transferred in my infrastructure, so I can do a file policy for that. PDF, Word, like anything files could be having a malicious software, or like anything like can harm my infrastructure. So I can put it. File policy, actually, I don't want to start talking about because it's a big and lovely topic, so let's keep it later. So this is the inspection. This is the logging that I told you. Log at beginning, and you can also enable the SNMP and syslog and event we showed the last videos. And you can, of course, put the comment that you will need, that indication for this. Maybe like another your colleague of IT can come, then he did not understand what this rule for, so maybe you will leave for him a comment. So this is your strategy in the company that you're working for. So it's fine. So actually, this is all about the access control policy and the pre-filter policy. From next video, we will start like the objects and apply this object with the access control policy and rules, and we will try to understand every single option in the objects. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and see you soon.